Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On the Line podcast. I'm your host, Noel Alberto, with my co host, Oliver Dixon Jefford. Oliver, how are you doing?
I'm very good. Certainly enjoyed the tennis the past couple of days.
Yes. And we'll be talking about your pick, Angelique Kerber. She's looking very good.
Oh yeah, she's I think only 2 sets dropped this year.
Yeah.
Looking
Yeah,
great.
and they're to Safarova and Venus in Sydney. So not even some bad poor opponents. Those are some high quality opposition that she drops sets against there.
Yeah, I mean, look great in Hopman Cup, which obviously is an indicator, but maybe could be taken with a little pinch of salt because obviously it's not an official WTA event and not official ATP event for the men. But yeah, looking perhaps even a little bit better than 2016 as
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah. So you heard it here first. We're starting obviously with the women, and obviously the talking point was Angelique Kerber, Maria Sharapova in the third round, and man, Kerber really took it to Sharapova.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was. I thought this would be a tight match as Sharapova played well in her first 2 rounds. Kerber played well in her first 2 rounds. I was like really interested in it. They played the past 2 matches they've done have been incredibly tight and incredibly high quality. In Stuttgart back in 2015 and the Wimbledon the year before that, and Kerber did win both of them. So I was edging towards her, but this was ridiculously good by her. Some of the tennis, especially in the first set, just made Sharapova, who's a 5-time Grand Slam champion, looked lost on court. And I mean, she was a bit more competitive in the second set and did have chance to go break up, but Kerber was just very mentally strong and forced so many errors out. In the end, she was a very deserving victor.
Yeah, I mean, watching it, Kerber's defense was just an absolute wall compared. Just absolutely, yeah, an absolute wall. Sharapova could not do anything about it, and we were talking before the pod, and you think Kerber's the favorite now?
I'm not sure if she's the outright favourite, but I mean, she has to be up there. She's playing very well, beaten probably the toughest unseeded opponent if she plays well with some ease, and she is the only woman left who knows how to win a slam. I mean, there's obviously others who reached final. There's like obviously Wozniacki's a 2-time US Open finalist, had a former French Open finalist, but they've never taken a
Pliskova, also U.S. Open finalist,
Pliskova US Open finalist as well.
lost to
Yeah,
Kerber 2 years ago.
Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, that's the thing. Like, not only has Kerber, done it once, she's done it twice at different majors as well, including Australia. So yeah, it's big. I mean, obviously, like Madison Keys as well, former finalist, the US Open last year. But yeah, I mean, she's looking great. I mean, I thought she'd have a better 2018 than she did last year, but I'm surprised at how well she's come back. She's looking like fantastic again.
She's looking. I think as you said to me before, probably slightly better than 2016. You think?
Yeah, I think it's just because the tour progresses, every year, and I think that's one of the reasons she struggled last year. She wasn't able to maintain that level, but I mean, it's obviously very early stages. We're still in January, but of all the people that have played so far this year, she's probably been the most impressive on the WTA side. Just
Yeah,
looking
yeah, most
so
informed player for sure.
yeah. She's just she's always been very strong in terms of defense, but she's back. I think even more so in 2016. She's unafraid to come forward and attack and be aggressive. And I think that kind of took Sharapova by surprise. She didn't really know what to do. And that's why she ended up making so many errors because she felt she had to go for broke so quickly because Kerber wasn't messing about as the way she was going for her shots.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of Sharapova, this match kind of showed that she still has quite a way to go
Yeah.
if she wants to win another slam. Because, I mean, Kerber was obviously playing very well, but if Sharapova had been playing well, she would have had a chance. And I think she was a little bit left behind today.
I mean, yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, it seems like though she can play excellently against top players, saw it versus Halep, saw it at the U.S. Open, saw versus Sevastova earlier this week against someone who's just like so peak in form that she can't, and who's just gonna get every ball back. Where even though Halep can get all the balls back too, like Kerber can, it's just that she just can't find the margins are even thinner when the player's in form like Kerber is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, obviously Kerber's not. I mean, last year she didn't look great, but she's obviously not someone that's not afraid of the big stage. She's obviously reached 3 Grand Slam finals. You know, obviously has obviously with kind of reference Halep there. Obviously, Halep has beaten Sharapova since, but heading into that US Open clash last year was something like 6-love against her, or love
Mm-hmm.
6 even, never beaten her. Sharapova was Kerber, I think, had obviously beaten Sharapova a few times. I think might have led the head-to-head. It was 4-3. I think it was in her favour. Obviously, won their last 2 meetings. I think just that confidence really helped her. And yeah, she even in the second set where she looked, and Sharapova looked a little bit better. You know, Kerber was still, you still had the sense that she would still come through, and she did in the end. She
Uh-huh.
took advantage of some sloppy play and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, made it look easy.
Yeah, and next up for her is a Sue Shea of Chinese Taipei. So definitely the favorite to get out of there. And maybe like you said not the favorite to, or the bookie's favorite or to like win, but might be the favorite to get out of the quarter here with Keys and Garcia potentially looming.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Hachet's not going to be an easy match. He's come off 2 big wins against Radwanska. Today, obviously, Radwanska isn't in the greatest form, but, you know, picked up a couple of wins here. So it's impressive, and obviously beaten Muguruza. So 2 big wins for her against big names. She'll be confident. Obviously, Kerber goes in the favour. But yeah, that's an interesting quarter-final, like 4th round between Keys and Garcia. I think I did predict this match before the tournament, but I wasn't
Yeah.
predicting Keys to be playing so well. Keys is looking very sharp, and she is someone who has the weapons to beat Kerber in the Eastbourne final a few years ago. Narrowly missed out in the Chelsea final back in, I think, 2015. So yeah, it could be an interesting match if it happens, and Kerber would go as a favourite, but Keys certainly has the game and has the ability to potentially cause an upset because she is looking very good as
So
well.
it sounds like you have
Looking in a
Keys
really
over
good.
Garcia.
Yeah, I think Keys over Garcia for sure because
Yeah.
she's just playing so well.
Yeah, Sasnovich. Garcia has gone 3 sets in her last 2. Probably could have lost to Vondrousova, and then easy third set against Sasnovich, but still.
Yeah, I mean they're 2 difficult matches, so
Yeah,
she's had
nothing
more.
easy.
Yeah, she's had a trickier road, I would say. Looking to draw probably every match than Keys. So maybe it's, and obviously she had a great end to last year. It's obviously 4th round here, which is a strong result. So she shouldn't be taken lightly at all.
Mm-mm.
But my instinct is now saying I think Keys might be able to just out hit her.
Yeah, agree there. And then, so there's that part of the section, but I want to talk about this. You were asleep for this, but oh boy. Simona Halep, Lauren Davis, 15-13 in the third.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I mean, that's probably your match of the year sorted already. I just been I mean, I obviously haven't seen. I've seen a few highlights, but it just sounds like it was such a lengthy match, also such a high quality match as
Yeah,
well.
very high quality.
Yeah, and so yeah, it was just kind of agonising for Lauren Davis to come so close yet so
Yeah.
far. But
Yeah, she had 3
really,
match points at love 40 on Halep serve.
yeah, but admirable effort by them. Obviously, yeah, big test for Halep. I think we were obviously discussing before the pod started. The one advantage for Halep here is that it wasn't too hot.
Uh-huh.
That it was like low 20s. If it had been like it was on Friday or Thursday in that heat, it would have been an absolute nightmare for both of them.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but she pulled through, and she that's particularly key because her next match isn't going to be easy. I don't think.
Yeah. So yeah, that last set literally had everything. So Halep got the early break, but then Davis Davis looked like she was cramping, like had trouble with her abdomen. Then she gets the break back. I believe it was around like 4 all, And Halep served out for the match 3 different times, but Davis kept her game plan, attacked the second serve, got a lot more aggressive when she was behind. I mean, which is how most of these like lower ranked players play against these top players when there's nothing to lose if when your opponent's serving for the match or something like that. And so kept going. And then after Halep had held for like I believe it was like somewhere maybe in like the tens or something, like probably like 11 all or something. Davis called for the trainer because her toenail had fell off.
Oh, ouch!
I think this was after she had. This may have been around like either when Davis had the 3 after she had blown the 3 match points, or when around in that area. But yeah, so that after that, Davis served, fended off break points to hold, and we're like, it's absolutely crazy. But in the end, Halep 15-13. And I think when I was listening the commentary of Chris Fowler and Brad Gilbert here on in the US on ESPN, they brought up a great point, which I think you could speak to a little about this. They said, so Halep served out for the match 3 different times, and she didn't convert. They said if this happened last year or in the past, this probably doesn't get to 15-13, and she doesn't win. Davis probably wins. They said like when she was serving, she looked at peace. It's probably because she's world number 1. Do you think you agree with that?
I don't think it's necessarily ranking that is like making it, but I do think her mentality is much stronger. She got off to an appalling start to last season. And she had that match in the Miami quarterfinal against Conta where she went into complete self-destruct mode. She served for the match. Then got broken, lost the second set tiebreak. And then just could barely hit a ball in for the final set. And then after that's the match, Darren Cahill told her that he'd had enough and he split, and she managed to persuade him to come back. And I think they've made real progress since then. So I think she's a much mentally stronger than she was at this stage last season, and probably would have, after failing to serve it, gone into self-destruct mode.
Yeah.
But we've managed to stay calm. Obviously, did fail to serve out the match 3 times, which is slightly concerning. She might not get that opportunity against someone like a Kerber or whatever, or another big player like a Svitolina or a Wozniacki. But she managed to pull through in the end, which is something she, like you said, probably wouldn't have done last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge testament to her for keeping it mentally from not being able to serve it out, and then having held, and then having to deal with a broken toenail. It's like absolute chaos in that match. But yes, we continue on to so the last Aussie woman out. Last Aussie woman, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Naomi Osaka makes her first career second week of a Grand Slam as she defeats Ashley Barty 4-2. And we spoke to it it was last year, 2017, when Osaka and Sasha Bajin started work together. It looked like there was some progress when I saw Osaka at Hopman Cup, but it really looks like it's really coming together now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, slightly disappointed in 2017 as she started the year just outside the top 70, so she didn't get some great results. But this was she's not dropped a set yet. Very good wins. Barty, obviously.
Vesnina
had a great, obviously Barty had a great one in City last week. Had a great 2017 full stop. So it would not have been easy, and 4-2 win. But like you said, Osaka's already beaten Vesnina as well. So type of opponent that could trouble Halep if she's playing well. Big hitter, obviously. I think even though she was drawn into such a long match, I think Halep probably does have to be the favourite, though. And I would say she probably wins it.
Yeah, I'm still surprised that after that looked like a horrible ankle roll against Destiny Ayava, she's holding up pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, that's only a good thing because it'd been such a shame if she'd been pulled out due to that.
Yeah,
But thankfully, it doesn't look like there's any long-term problems similar to Carl Edmonds' ankle roll in Brisbane a couple of weeks before the tournament began. Thankfully, just like it was temporary, like a temporary,
yeah,
like 10,
yeah,
15
yeah.
issue.
Though
Thankfully.
some of her movement and like kind of, I use the word explosiveness like very loosely because yeah, explosive movements, I guess per se, and like some of the little like explosiveness on her ground strokes. That's where I use it loosely because how just very consistent. Though it can get a little powerful sometimes, but yeah, some of it still looks like it's not there yet, but it's holding up pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I mean, obviously Osaka is dangerous, but I don't think Halep will have to be firing like perfectly to
Mm-hmm.
beat her. I think if you look, there's potentially matches ahead. You know, her quarterfinal, semi-final, final, where she's likely to face like players who like top 10 or seeded or other title contenders, where she'll need that. But if at this moment, if Osaka's not at her best, she'll probably be okay. But if Osaka is firing, she will need to raise her level.
Yeah, for sure. And then the winner of that match will face the all steal your coach showdown between Stritzova and Pliskova. And for our listeners, we'll bring this back full circle. So Karolina Pliskova around October said she decided a new coach. She and it was Thomas Krupa, Thomas Krupa, who worked with Stritzova, and then the the switch angered Stritzova, and here are quotes from Stritzova on from Linz last year about Pliskova taking Krupa. Our relationship is zero. We do not go for coffee. We no longer have to use the word friend. When she told me she was interested in my trainer, her manager, like, yeah, her manager was already with him. It was done behind my back, and then I learned on the phone it was over. Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, not many people have been talking about Striskova, but straight sets
Or
wins.
Pliskova either.
Or Pliskova, not to the same extent as the likes of Svitolina or Halep or Wozniacki or Kerber, no. Yeah, both women through in straight sets. Pliskova tight match today, but obviously Safarova's a quality opponent, so that's no surprise. But she got through that test. Yeah, I mean, obviously Pliskova has to be the favourite. I think she should come through. It'd be an interesting quarter final, but yeah, it's one of those. I'm just here for the handshake ones, kind of whatever happens.
Yeah, I guess I am too. I mean, she said, "Oh, I'd still play with her on Fed Cup," but yeah, that's quite interesting. I believe that Stritzova is working with Pliskova. Yeah, Stritzova is working with Pliskova's former coach. What's his name? David Katsia. So
Yeah, that was he was originally. Is he working with Strickler?
yeah,
He was originally Kvitova's coach, but
uh,
yeah, they split up like quite amicably, and then he went on to Pliskova after that. I think they split after the US Open because after because Pliskova went on started going a little bit of I wouldn't say a poor run of form, but a poorer run of form because in how she had been playing.
yeah.
So yeah.
All right, so that's only the top half. I mean, the bottom half of the women's draw, some talking points, but obviously not as entertaining as the top half. So we had Petra Martic, Grand Slam specialist, through to the fourth round, was defeating Lucia Kumkum in the Rod Laver Arena Thriller. And then Elise Mertens through to her second week of a Grand Slam, taking advantage of Julia Gerges going out. So Mertens, and this sounded like a mouthful, but yes, we continue. I digress. But Svitolina defeats qualifier, fellow country woman, and 15-year-old Marta Kostyk, 2-2. Great run for Kostyk. But now Svitolina will take on another qualifier, Denisa Alertova, and looks like Svitolina should be the heavy favorite to progress to the semifinals.
Yeah, the draw's fallen very kindly for her. I can't see her having too many problems against Alatova. I think the quarterfinal, though, would
Yeah,
be
Marta Mertens might be tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot. I didn't think about it until the other day, looking ahead, predicting what would happen. Obviously, we all know about Svitolina playing against Halep at the French Open, what happened there. But before that, she faced Martic in the fourth round, and she was 2-5 down in that final set. So she fought her way back and then made the quarterfinals. So that could be another tricky match for her. But also, so could Mertens. Mertens obviously comes off the title in Hobart, is rising up the rankings quite fast. So I think Svitolina has to be the favourite to get out of this section to make it to the semis. But I think there's dangers in the quarterfinal against either Martic or Mertens.
Yeah, you still think she's the favorite to win that match, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, she should win that, but I think there could be issues. I mean, we saw she struggled early on against Siniaka in the second round. Could be similar to that. She might struggle early on and then settle her way in. She's certainly the favourite.
Yeah, she just has to be the aggressor in these matches, as we've talked about.
I think that's the key for a lot of women, such as Halep and Wozniacki, but I think particularly for Svitolina. So I think that's quite often her downfall. She does need to be proactive.
And then the last bit of the bottom half we had Annette Kontaveit taking out Yelena Ostapenko in the All-Baltic Showdown, and the All-Baltic Showdown in the fourth round denied as Carla Suarez Navarro defeats Kaya Kanepi in 3 sets. And then Magdalena Rybarikova gets by Katerina Bondarenko in 3, and she'll face Wozniacki. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I watched the Wozniacki match because obviously, as you know, I did the recap for it. It wasn't a massively easy match, but she looked very solid, a lot more convincing.
Better against than Yana Fett, right?
Yeah, a lot more convincing than that, which is what she needed. She needed to show that she was back to her best, and she was playing very well. Quite fiery as well. Had a couple of clashes with the umpire in that match. So I don't think necessarily a massively easy match against Rybarikova next, but she should be able to come through that. Rybarikova doesn't have the weapons to potentially punish her, so she should come through. This other one's interesting though because Kontaveit has the bigger weapons, but she hasn't reached the fourth round of a slam since the US Open back in 2015. I think it was in Suarez Navarro.
Yeah, I believe she lost to Venus there. Like, absolutely got dusted by Venus.
Yeah, but she was a qualifier, so the fact she made it to that stage was pretty impressive.
Also true.
Suarez Navarro. Obviously, we thought Kanepi would win that match. She came from a set down, Suarez Navarro, and she's reached quite a few quarterfinals before. She reached the quarterfinal here back in 2016. I think, quarterfinal back in 2009 as well. And then quarterfinal showings at every other slam except Wimbledon. So I think while she doesn't necessarily have the weapons, I think she'll come through that one because she has a tricky style play to break down. So I think it'll be her versus Wozniacki in the bottom quarterfinal.
Yeah, the cheeky one-handed backhand. I love the one-handed backhand.
Yeah, it's a great shot. It's one of the probably around now the best one-hander on the women's side.
There aren't many though, right?
No, there's not that many. There's more on the men's. I can think of as her. I think maybe I can't remember. I think Rybarikova maybe has one. I know she has a lot of slices and drop shots, but I might just be getting confused.
It says two-hander, but if you
maybe no, I think that must be right. Two-hander. Margarita Gasparian.
Yeah, those are the only two off the top of my head.
Yeah. But she hasn't played in a while, like properly on a tour. She pulled out of this tournament. She's been injured for eternity, it seems. But the only ones, one's like there's others, like I know there's others, but I can't think right now.
Yeah. So that's the women's draw, and now we move on to the men's draw, and oh boy, the bottom half looks okay. I mean, but not what we expected, and top half looks pretty much what we thought it would be, minus Edmund Seppi. But after Anderson and Sock went down, those probably were the guys we expected. But yes, we start with the bottom half, and Sasha Zverev, his lack of second weeks at the Grand Slams continue. I mean, second week at Wimbledon last year, but that's it. Hyun Chung takes it out in 5 and a 5th set bagel for the Korean.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we both, as we discussed, we both expecting big things from Hyun Chung this year, and obviously it's a great result for him. But Zverev should have won this match. There's a reason, he's the 4th seed and Chung is unseeded, and Zverev was 2 sets to 1 up on the first set 6-2. It's looking pretty good, and then kind of must have bombed out in those final 2 sets, especially the 5th set. So yeah, another disappointing slam performance from him. As you had said in our previous 2 podcasts, hadn't looked amazing in the first 2 rounds, so perhaps the signs were there.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's kind of,
continue.
It's kind of because we know he can play at the Masters events. He's won 2 of them. So I'm not sure what the big thing with slams is. Perhaps his best of 5 is a problem.
That's what I'm thinking. He's mastered the big thing of best of 3 because it's tour level, but hasn't mastered the biggest bit of them all, which is the Grand Slam.
Yeah. I mean that must be. I mean, he came. They just mentioned that he reached the second week of Wimbledon last year. Played Raonic in that match, and I thought he'd win that match, but then in the final set he lost 6-1, so perhaps he tied out a bit there. So maybe it's just a 5th set thing and he needs to get a bit more physically fit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, that might not be it, but that's my only reasonable guess.
I mean, look back last year, 3rd round, Nadal, 5th set. I believe he was got one of the breaks back. He was down double break to Nadal in that 5th, but had chances to get that second break back, and he started cramping, and that's how it started. The fitness was an issue.
Yeah, I think he has improved since then in terms of fitness and in terms of ranking. I think he was 24th seed back then. He reached number 3 at one point last year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think maybe it's something mental as well. I'm not sure, but yeah, and obviously he's getting very rattled in his press conferences. He really doesn't like that subject being brought up, which is something that the journalists are obviously going to talk about because he's the world number 4 and he hasn't reached the Grand Slam quarterfinal. So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's kind of hoping it happens for him this year, so that kind of drops off. But what if it doesn't? He's going to need to look at why it's not happening.
Yeah, and Hyun Chung, congratulations to him. Obviously, coming off the big in quotes next gen finals win in Milan, but clearly that has been a stepping stone for his career. We'll face Djokovic next, and Djokovic has to be the favorite. Did call for the trainer against Ramos Vinolas, but should be the favorite. But you think Chung will test him a little?
Yeah, I think Djokovic is the favorite. It's concerning that he had a little bit of injury trouble in his 3rd round, but looked very comfortable in terms of scoreline. I think Chung can test him. I think maybe he will take a set, but I think Djokovic should be getting through, really.
Yeah, and then the winner of that, Chung Djokovic, will take on Dominic Thiem versus Tennis Sandgren. And Thiem, by far and away, the heavy favorite here. Thiem takes out Manarino in 3 sets, and I was watching that one. Dominic Thiem looked the one who was a lot fresher, and he's the one who played the 5-setter.
Yeah, I think he needed a big performance, like we were saying, in terms of the women's draw, in terms for Wozniak, he needed a big performance after such a tough match beforehand, which shouldn't have been a big test. And he delivered. He played. I've seen some highlights of that match. He did play very well, looked very good. He played well in his 1st round match as well. So it's looking maybe his 2nd round match was a big blip. So yeah, I can't see Sandgren providing too much of a test. He might edge a set, but I can't see him winning that match. And I think it's big for Thiem if he does win that match because he's never made a Grand Slam quarterfinal outside the French Open before. So to have that success in hardcourt, I think would be a big mental boost for the Austrian.
Yeah. And I want to note in that Manarino match, he looked a little more aggressive. He looked closer to the baseline. I mean, still with his classic baseline, a lot of heavy ground ground strokes, like cross court, but he looked a little more aggressive, which could bode well for this year.
Absolutely. I mean, he's someone who's not particularly young anymore. He's going to be 25 this year. You want to start looking for him to win big titles. I don't think he has a Masters title yet.
Nope.
No. Want him to start looking at winning them titles, maybe even coming close to winning slams. If he plays well, I mean, we know he's a good clay court player. Looking for him, if he's playing well, and he could be the main challenger to Rafa at the French Open.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's good to see him being more aggressive outside of the clay courts and looking more comfortable. And could have a big season if that continues.
Yeah, agree with you there. And then continuing on that bottom half, it's Fanini, who defeated Julian Benneteau in 5 sets, and then Tomas Berdych, who rolled Del Potro 3-3-2, and then Roger Federer, who, as we expected, eased by Richard Gasquet, and then Martin Fucsovics takes out Nicholas Kicker. So obviously Federer, massive favorite to get out of here. But if it's Berdych, it might be a test. I mean, we said that last year when they met in the 3rd round and he rolled Berdych. But do you think Berdych has found that confidence that may have willed away from him last year now that he's in the 2nd week here in Australia? So if he beats Fanini, faces Federer, if Fucsovics, he doesn't shock the world, but do you think he could test him? That's what I'm saying.
I think he could be dangerous. Yeah, I mean, Fognini's not an easy opponent, but off clay, Berdych should be winning that match. Obviously, like I said, I can't see Fucsovics challenging Federer too much. So I would guess it's probably going to be Federer-Berdych quarterfinal. I mean, my instinct obviously is that Federer wins, but I think if Berdych he really eased past Del Potro today. I think if Berdych is playing that well, he's going to be a big challenge. I mean, he nearly beat Federer in Miami last year. I'm pretty sure he's beaten Federer at Wimbledon before as well.
He has?
Yeah, I think that year he made the final back in 2010. He beat Federer. So, yeah, I think he could have a chance. I mean, he's played well here before. He's reached a couple semi-finals. So I think obviously Federer, I mean, assuming that it's a matchup, quarterfinal matchup, I think it will be. He's a danger if he's playing well. But I think I would still say Federer's going to.
Yeah, Federer. Yeah, Federer by far and away the favorite to get out of that quarter. But yes, we're just a couple wins away from Federer-Djokovic semifinal. That'd be quite something in Djokovic's first real event back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Djokovic hasn't looked. I mean, he's looked good. I mean, he dropped that set against Monfils. Well, Monfils is dangerous. Did well against Young and Alba Ramos Vinolas today, but I think still a little bit of doubt. Like you said, we had the injury timeout today. But then saying that, Federer hasn't faced anyone who can give him a challenge. I mean, Bezdin Struff, unlikely to test him. He's won 17 of the 19 meetings against Gasquet. Has won, I think, something like past 22 sets against him.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't see him getting too much of a test from Fucsovics. So I think Djokovic would be a huge test if obviously Djokovic leads that head-to-head. He's beaten him in big matches before. So it would be a huge test if that match happens, but a lot of stuff can still happen yet, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, and I think if Team Djokovic meet in the quarters, that'd be really interesting to see how that goes about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, Team really looks comfortable against him at the French Open quarterfinal last year.
That was on clay, though.
Yeah, but that was on clay. But at the same time, if he is being more aggressive and Djokovic isn't 100%, there's a big chance for him there. So my instinct says it will still be Djokovic in the last 4. But a lot of it could come down to assuming Team beats Sandgren, which he should. If he's able to take it to Djokovic in that same style.
Yeah, and so now we move on to the top half. And like we briefly mentioned before tackling the bottom half, this is kind of what we expected for the most part. Nadal, Schwartzman, Krinya, Busta, Cilic. I mean, some of us did have Muller, but due to Krinya, Busta's form, but props to PCB for finding it all together. Dimitrov, Kyrgios, and Edmund Seppi. Well, not really Edmund Seppi, but like I said, once Anderson and Stock went out, these are probably the guys you probably would have expected to break through. But yes, Nadal, dropped 5 games against what people would have called his first test because he's obviously seeded opponent, Damir Zhumer, obviously great 2017, but dropping 5 games only, he looks very good.
Yeah, I mean his first round was never going to be much of a test. Second round, tricky opponent, looks good, but I wouldn't say amazing. But yeah, on fire in his third round match, looked so good. Zuma never really stood much of a chance. In great form. I am a big, I think most people are a big fan of Diego Schwartzman. He's such a hard worker. He's a great
5'7", my man.
Great person off court. Obviously, we'll have to work very hard because his height and he's made it work. He had a great 2017, but I can't see it going too well for him tomorrow. I don't think he'll have the weapons to match Rafa, especially if Rafa is playing as well as he had. I think it could be quite a quick day for him.
Yeah, I mean, Nadal has said about every opponent so far, they're dangerous, and then just goes out and like rules them. I mean, didn't really roll Meyer. I mean, obviously, third set breaker, but said Zhumer would be tricky. Rolls him. You think this will be over under 5.5 games for this?
I think he'll concede more than 5 games.
Okay, so he's taking. Yeah, I'm taking the over.
I just think
I'll take 8.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, I think it's maybe like 8, maybe as well, something like that. Like something like, I don't know, 6-3, 6-3, 6-2.
Yeah,
maybe scoreline. I'm thinking could be maybe one tighter set in there, but yeah, I can't see it go. I think Schwartzman obviously going to try his best. He always works so hard, but yeah, I think Rafa should be fine.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And then this is probably obviously Dimitrov Kyrgios, but I'm kind of on the fence here. Carreño Busta and Cilic. I mean, Cilic has looked good. I mean, bar that third set blip against Vasek Pospisil. But Carreño Busta has found that form which saw him reach the U.S. Open semifinal. This is probably a 50-50 toss-up.
Yeah, I'm very much with you here. It's a very tough one to call. Obviously, like you said, Carreño Busta had a great US Open. And kind of not did much after that until now. He's playing very well again. Big win against Müller the other day. But obviously, Cilic, obviously, like you said, it's not the best start because Popper still made it through. And good win against Susan and a good win against Ryan Harrison, who's obviously not an easy opponent. So, yeah, it's a very tough one to call. I think Cilic obviously has the bigger weapons, but then he's also the more error-prone and more erratic. But it's whether Carreño Busta can continue that form and challenge him. I'm really struggling to outright pick a winner. Oh, don't know. Who are you saying?
Well, I do have Cilic in a bracket, so I might slightly biased. I'm slightly leading Cilic here. I think they're playing in the day, so it might gotta check the schedule. I think they're playing in the day, so might be playing a little faster, which will favor Cilic.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm good. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Carreño Busta does win. Obviously, he has played well at slams. Past couple of semi-finals at US Open, quarter-finals at the French Open, but unfortunately got injured there and couldn't play at Wimbledon. But I think maybe because Cilic a former semi-finalist here, maybe she might just be able to edge this one. I think it will be 5 sets, but I think I'm backing Cilic to just pull through.
Yeah, I'm backing. Yeah, I back Cilic to edge through as well. All right, we move on. This is what we've all wanted. Dimitrov Kyrgios. First on night session on Laver. Kyrgios has looked good. Came through, as he said, one of the guys he looked up to growing up. JWT, or as we all know, Joe Wilfried Tsonga. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, Tsonga, that was a very entertaining match. 3 tie breaks. all of them very tight. And this one set Songa won was 6-4. So, and then Dimitrov did well against Andrei Rublev. It was a breakdown in the first and fourth set, but found a way to win that match as well. And this will have a lot of fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw a draw, this is the match I really wanted to see, and I was so happy that we got it. I watched the Kyrgios Tsonga match, and that was a fantastic match. Both men playing incredibly well, and I think because of that, it's a big win for Kyrgios. I think sometimes if obviously Tsonga's not the slam winner, but he's still a big name. He's struggled if the other person's playing well. He can't match them, but he was able to match Tsonga there and come through the big moments. Was a set point down in the third set tiebreak. Would have been 2-1 down. He lost that. Came back and won it 8-6, and then the fourth set tiebreak was 5-2 down, and then won the final 5 points of the match. So yeah, looking very good. I'm backing him to win this match because I think he's looking a lot better than Dimitrov is.
Yeah, I agree there. I think Kyrgios enters as a slight favorite, and then he defeated him in the Brisbane semifinal, if I recall correctly.
Yes, Brisbane.
I mean, they met last year in the Cincy final. That was close calling, but I think Kyrgios has the slight edge here. I'm gonna pick him to win over Dimitrov.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's just looking. I mean, it's early stages. He's looking very focused this year, more than he has in the past, and he is playing great tennis. I mean, I'm not saying Dimitrov isn't looking focused, but there was a couple times, especially in the second round against McDonald. I mean,
he's looking shaky.
He looked shaky. He didn't really know what he was doing at some points. Obviously, he got bageled by the world number 186, which is full credit to McDonald, but shouldn't be world number 3 shouldn't be getting bageled. So yeah, more encouraging performance against Rublev, but still not that close to being great. So yeah, I think Kyrgios maybe in 4 sets.
I'm going Kyrgios in 5. I just want to stay up all night. Okay. And here is the last bit of it. Obviously, your countryman, Andres, you're not Italian. Oh, good save there. I mean, your countryman, Kyle Edmund, who is through to the 4th round, faces Andrea Seppi, a familiar name and face who tends to do well in Australia. This is another, I think, 50-50 right here.
Yeah, it's an incredibly tough one. I'm looking. They both played long matches in the third round. I mean, Carl Edwin came from 2-1 down to win 7-5 in the 5th in the heat. Oh, it was, I saw his interview after the match with on Eurosport with Catherine Whittaker, and he just looked absolutely knackered. So full credit to him putting through one of the toughest and probably most rewarding victories of his career. Meanwhile, Seppi faced Ivo Karlovic, which is never an easy match. And
but you're not expending much energy against Dr. Ivo, are you?
Yeah, but still, if it's hot, it's going to go on. But it was he was 2 sets up, then lost 3rd and 4th set tiebreaks, then won 9-7. So yeah, if they both had a real battle coming through that match to reach the second week, it's a tough one. Seppi has played incredibly well here before, beat Federer in 2015. Could face Kyrgios for the 3rd time in Melbourne if he gets through and Kyrgios gets through. They both had
3rd time in 4 years, right?
Yeah, because 2015 they faced and Kyrgios won from 2 sets down, saved the match point. And then last year in the second round, Seppi won from 2 sets down, and I think he might have saved a match point or 2. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think Edmund has a real shot. I think if he plays as he did against Anderson or against
biased answer. No, I'm kidding.
He could win, but no, I'm edging towards Seppi because of the prior experience of playing well in Australia. Yeah.
All right, I can't bash you for biased answers now, but I'll take Edmund to win here. Definitely think, though, It's not supposed to be as hot today, right?
I think it's more meant to be like it was. Yeah, I don't think it's meant to be. Let me have a look. Yeah, I don't think it's meant to be like a 30, 40 odd day.
I mean,
No,
that'll be good for Edmund for sure.
Sunday. I can't find. I mean, I think they both play. So I think they'll both just be relieved. It's quite going to be cooler.
Yeah.
All 26 degrees higher, but rain predicted, which is a bit.
I mean, they're all on arenas which have roofs, so
yeah, rain all day. So it could be interesting what indoor plays a factor. It could be rainy on Monday as well, so it could be awful apart from the evening. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, heat will be no factor because they can control the temperature.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm still thinking Seppi, whatever.
Yeah, I'll take Edmund there. But yes, that is our pod, and obviously still a few more pods to go for the Australian Open. So you can find Oliver on Twitter at OliverDJ1998. You could find me at Noel at Not First Noel, and you can find the pod Twitter at On the Line Pod. You can find our podcast on SoundCloud, and we hope you all have a very